Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Disintegrator. So here we are. I've got this entire module board and I'm about to take the voice chips off. But I actually, I'm going to do this video specifically in response to a request that we actually show a little bit closer how these get desoldered. Someone said, oh, I have a very difficult time getting them out. You do such a nice job. How do you do that? And there's no real magic to it. It's just about having the right tools, really. And maybe a little bit of technique. So first thing I'm going to do is put this in. This is a pan of ice, and it's quite a nice little clamp. It's about $150 or something like that. And it's pretty fancy. As you can see, it's perfect for PCBs. And you've got a little clamp here, so you tighten that, and then this little spring guy goes in place. And now these guys are totally in place. So having that totally clamped and having gravity working on my side, that's one thing. The next up thing that I should probably point out, let me just turn the light on over here. There we go, there we go. I have a Hako 472, and as you can see, this is basically, I got this on eBay used from a cell phone repair company way down in Florida, actually, as I recall. And this here is basically a vacuum iron, and I can set the temperature control, and that's basically all that is. And then this is the hand tool. You don't have to have something exactly like this. There are ones that are pistols. They're fine too. But this is what I use. And you press this button and that sort of compressor sound kicks in, and this guy, you hear the hissing noise there. I'm going to take great care not to actually get it too close to my camera. But that sucks air through the nose, and it'll catch any solder along the way. So let's see if I can do this all in one shot. I'm going to mount the camera, and yes, that's right, my desk is very messy, because that's the way my work desk is. It's messy, cluttered, and so on and so forth. But you know what? It works for me. So because it works for me, I don't have a problem with it. Alright, let me see if I can get this camera in, and I'm going to be attempting to do this. I'm going to just do one voice chip for you, so that you can see closely how I do it. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can zoom in even closer. It's a little bit tricky because the autofocus does not like it when we do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it locked in, and then I'm going to turn the autofocus off. So once I get it locked in, the autofocus is going off. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. A little bit closer still. Okay, great. Now let's see if I can turn off this dial setting focus. Focus is set. How do we do this? Okay, I think, alright, autofocus has now been turned off. Yeah, you can see that because it's not actually trying to focus on my finger. Okay, so I am my own cameraman, guys. You know, this is how it goes. All right, I am going to reach over. This is going to be a little bit awkward. Oop, and already I see a problem. I'm blocking the light, so I'm going to have to try and come at it from the other angle. Oh, bear with me here. Can I do this? All right, I can do this. It's pretty awkward, but I can do it. I'll probably end up blocking the light part of the way through, but that's just how it goes. Alright, so I'm going to start off by dropping this down on one of the pins, and then I rotate it around. Rotate it around. So, and I'm going to just go up the chain here and do it to all of them. Alright. So, rotate it, rotate it, rotate it, and then when I think it's good and melted, then I apply. And as you can see, that hole is now clear. So, the trick is to not fire the pump too soon. And I apologize, I have like almost no support reaching over the camera like this. Alright. I'm going to need to get in a little bit closer with my magnifier, so my apologies if there are shadows. Rotating, rotating. You know it's working when you hear a slurp. Now, always check to make sure your nozzle isn't clogged. If it doesn't seem to be pulling all of the solder out, because sometimes if your nozzle gets clogged and you just keep going, all you're doing is heating the solder and not sucking it out and getting impatient, and then things go wrong and it's a big deal. Now always remember, got to keep rotating rotate, 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 rotate while you do this, because it stops the leg from coming in contact with the side of the hole. And when it does that, it stops it from welding back in place, you see. So, we go again. And one last guy. Now, here's what I'm going to show you. This is one of my patented techniques. I call this the wiggle test. I wiggle the chip from underneath, and what you can see here is not all of these guys are wiggling. The one guy over here is not, so he gets a revisiting. Okay, now sometimes, okay, this chip actually came out really nicely. Here it is. It just came right out, and here's the chip, and we are done. Sometimes I find that these chips don't come out so easy, and I end up having to do the wiggle test and discover that only one of the pins is wiggling. So I have to go and deal with the ones that don't wiggle, and you got to wiggle it very gently, of course. But that is a Centigrator trade secret, and I have passed it on to you guys. So, wiggle test. Now, remember too, I don't keep these legs when I centigrate one of these boards. I literally take them off, and I'm going to be covering that next because I have an official procedure to centigrate one of these boards, as I call it. Basically set it up so that it can be socketed, and it's a nice reliable socket and pin combination, and I have part numbers and everything. So we'll get into that next, but this is the answer to that question. How do you do it? That's how I do it. So Centigrator, signing off.